It's the Jacksonville BUZZ. Amy West, Grant Smith, Adrienne Houghton. From Studio 2 at BUZZ TV, this is the Jacksonville BUZZ.
Welcome back to the Jacksonville BUZZ. We've got a very exciting show for you today. I'm interviewing Gina Schimpf from the Be Still Float studio.
And I've got Vive de Lui, Mark Lowry, and Martin Buckley in studio. We're going to taste some excellent tequila today.
Somebody told me there's shots involved here. I'm in.
I'm not scared.
Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Jacksonville BUZZ. Now, if you perhaps have had some overindulgences through the holiday season, how do you feel about relaxing, recovering, and renewing in a therapeutic environment, free of distraction or disruption? Well, sounds good, doesn't it? My next guest is going to tell us just how we can do that. I'd like to welcome Gina Schimpf from Be Still Float Studio. Welcome, Gina.
Well, thank you so much. I couldn't have written a better introduction. That was just perfect. Yes, we are opening Be Still Float Studio in Riverside. We are on the intersection of Riverside and Lomax, right down the street from River and Post. So it's just up the street.
Oh, it's close, yes.
And we've built it out as a wellness center specifically to help us escape the chaos. We are just overwhelmed constantly. The amount of digital information that we take in, just sensory inputs when we're driving, our families, our work lives, there's no escape anymore. I mean, your phone is there, you're wearing it on your wrist, you can't get away from it. So I was trying to find ways to help my family, and I stumbled onto the practice of floating, which is fabulous for your mind and your body. So we're opening hopefully in a couple of weeks. Inspections are pending, and we're going to bring it to Riverside in the downtown Jacksonville area.
Fantastic. So you've told us how you sort of got started on it. Be Still. How did that come about? Because that's a name that, yes, I can think you're lying in the water and you're trying to be still, but
right. Finding a name was a journey. I kept coming up with different iterations, and there was already something related to it or another float center that had the same name, and I just kept playing around with it, and we were even getting ready to hire a company to help us with it. I've done a ton of research for this project, and I was visiting a float center in Virginia, and they had a sound healing table, and I did one of their sessions because I didn't know what it was, and honestly, at the end of that session, a voice, I don't think I'm crazy, a voice inside my head just said, "Be still." And this is right when I was going through finding the name, and immediately I thought, that's the name. That's it. That's perfect.
Do. It's one of those moments.
It was exactly one of those moments. And then I wanted to call it a studio. Most places are called a center or a spa. I get gift cards to go to the spa. I love going to the spa, but it's an indulgence, and I don't do it very often. However, I go to my yoga studio very often. A studio is someplace where you're working on a skill, a trade, an art form, taking care of yourself. And floating is a practice. It's something that you want to work on, and you'll have different experiences every time you do them.
Now, talking about that, can anyone float? I mean, are there weight limits?
That's a great question. For the majority of the time, most anyone can float. There are a couple of reasons why it would not be a good idea to float. If you have low blood pressure, that would not be a good situation for you because floating naturally lowers your blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
If you are in your first trimester of pregnancy, not a good time to float. Afterwards, with doctor's permission, it would be great. In terms of the weight limit question, I don't know of a weight limit. I have asked. If someone is a bit larger, there are precautions that we take to make sure that the water levels are where they need to be, but I have not heard of a weight limit. I think you're constrained by the size of your float tank.
Right.
So the ones that we have actually have enough capacity for 2 people. So I don't imagine us having an issue with a weight limit. And then certain situations, in mental health situations, you need to talk to your doctor whether or not you would be a good candidate to float, because when you're in the tank, your mind goes to a lot of different places. And because of that, people with anxiety have really benefited from floating. People with PTSD have benefited from floating. But if it's extreme, that's why you need to speak to your doctor before you attempt it.
Right.
I'm trying to think of other situations. People who have extreme motion sickness, not all will experience motion sickness in the tank, but they are more predisposed to experience it. There's something really interesting that happens when you're floating, and not to everyone, but to some people, you feel as if you're spinning.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't happen every time, and it's not really fast, but you feel movement. And I've been in very small tanks when I know it is physically impossible for me to move, but I feel like I'm swirling, and that could cause motion sickness for some people.
Right.
We have an open tank, so you know that if you are spinning, you could be. It's
So
physically
actually,
possible and you feel fine with it.
if you have claustrophobia, don't worry, because you still can do it because you're not actually trapped inside what I feel like is a coffin-shaped tank.
Okay, so you're bringing up a great point. There are 3 different types of float tanks. There are the pod styles that have a lid, or you slide into them and close a door. There are cabins that are more like what we're accustomed to in a bathroom, a bathtub with glass doors that you open and step into.
Right.
And then there's an open pool. And I did a lot of research, and I found that for my demographic, I would be more successful by offering an open float pool, and ours is a circular 8-foot diameter pool. So there's no lid, none of that.
Fantastic.
And it's also ADA accessible, fully ADA accessible. And we have a intercom system with a phone. So let's say you wanted to bring a family member who had mobility issues or maybe was a little bit older, you could escort them, help them get into the pool,
And it makes
they
it
could have
easier
their
and
float.
feel comfortable.
They could call us at the front desk,
Golly.
and we can let them know when they're done, and then the person can come help them out. We would not be helping anyone in and out of the pool, but we have the ability to make that possible for a visitor.
There's so much more I could ask you and we could get involved in, but if anyone needs to find out any more information, how can they get hold of you?
They can go to our website, and our website is just www.bestillfloat.com. Very easy. Or they can send us an email at relax@bestillfloat.com, and we will respond right away.
Wonderful. Now I know you're opening up at the end of January, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Exactly.
And so until then, we'll be right back after these messages. Let me tell you about Art of Natural Stone, this wonderfully experienced company that can create the perfect outdoor oasis for your home. For over 30 years, they've been building dream patios, walkways, pools, fountains, and fireplaces. They truly can create whatever you want and give your home that special wow factor. You can find them at 10135 Beach Boulevard or their new location at 14011 Phillips Highway, or online at artofnaturalstone.com.
Welcome back to the Jacksonville Buzz. I cannot wait to introduce my next guest. They had a vision to create premium tequila to be enjoyed island style. They went to the Bahamas with friends, and a few drinks later, they knew what was missing: authentic island style tequila. Please help me welcome Vive de Lui owners, Martin Buckley and Mark Lowry. How you guys doing?
Hey, doing
Good,
well.
man.
It's
Thanks
good
for
to see
having
you.
us, buddy.
Yeah.
How are you?
Quite the spread. So let's just get right into this, fellas. You went to the Bahamas, you're on the beach, you're having cocktails, and where did this vision of this masterpiece come from?
Well, everyone has a few cocktails when they go to the beach or the Bahamas.
No doubt.
And there's always fruit juice available. And the only thing that's missing is a real good tequila. So, not many, as in the islands, they have to import everything. There's not much that's produced there. So typically the higher level tequilas aren't really in demand. But if someone wants a margarita, you've heard Margaritaville many, many times. And, it's hard to find something that's not entry level. So we decided that we were going to make sure that from now on, and when we go down there, or if we go down there, that we would have something to drink and enjoy, and that other people would enjoy as well. And then when they come back home, they can enjoy it, and it would make them think about their vacation. So that's our intent, and we're slowly growing towards that goal.
When you go to the Bahamas for a week, you can't drink rum the whole time. Maybe collect two, but you've got to mix in something else. So I think the idea is a great one. It really is. And you guys have a twist on your brand, and that is the orange, correct?
Well, people have been drinking it with an orange, and there's a lime, but if you drink it with an orange, it's much smoother.
I love it.
So there's not a whole lot of aftertaste. There's not the face that everyone makes after they drink the salt. So the salt and the lime really started kind of as a medicinal thing in Mexico. For us, it's more of enjoyment. So, the orange just really makes it smooth and brings out a lot of the flavor. So we found that and kind of are promoting that. And it's on the nose of the pirate that we have as our central logo.
Oh, nice. I like it.
And it's shown on each side of the Blanco. So,
I like it.
Hopefully people enjoy that. And
Yeah. So my next question is, where did the road start? Okay, we're in the Bahamas. You've got this vision, but I'm guessing at some point you had to make your way to where tequila is made, Jalisco, Mexico.
Right.
So what was that experience like?
So we had a friend down there that knew of a distiller that we could use, and we contacted the distiller. We worked out some initial pricing, and as you know, just like everything, the pricing always goes up from where it originally is. But we met with a distiller, and basic bottles and basic price for the tequila. We went down there, did our tasting, and found out that the basic tequila wasn't really what we wanted. We wanted something that was a lot smoother. So it cost money to aerate it a couple more times, and we paid for the extra aeration. So that's an initial additional cost. We wanted a unique bottle. So instead of just a cylinder like we have on the 1 liters that is mostly for the restaurants, we wanted something that kind of represents the island. So you've got this pirate shaped bottle that costs money. We came up with this top that you can collect, and one side's upside down, so you can
unique.
String them together.
So unique.
Excuse me.
Mark made nice Christmas ornaments out of them.
Yeah, you can put lights on them. You can string them together and put lights. You can put them in your in your restaurant, in your dorms. Not that we're condoning that. But,
so speaking to the bottle, didn't you have some type of contest, or what was the contest tied around the bottle?
Yeah, so there's a website that's available that actually my other business, that's how we came up with our logo. And you basically on the website, you offer a certain amount of money, prize money, $500, and people log in from all over the world, and they're graphic designers, and they submit their thoughts of what you're trying to do, and you kind of, then I think we narrowed it down out of 25 designs we received. We found one we liked, and we kind of narrowed it down and said, hey, put VDL on the skull cap, on the
I love it.
On the bandana, make it a little like Jolly Roger. We love the logo, and we just tweaked it. That cost a little extra money, and as we did that, we just came up with the one we liked, and the pirate flag was kind of something we added at the very last minute.
Yeah, and it gives it that Caribbean flair, that you're looking for. So, well, listen, I know one of your main cocktails is the Skinny Paloma. Did I say that right?
Right, that's right.
So hold it right there. We're going to be back, and when we come back, we're going to get down and dirty with some Vive de Lui Tequila and do a little tasting. What do you guys say?
Sounds great.
Good.
All right, let's do it. We'll be right back on the Jacksonville Buzz.
Massage Envy revolutionizes your massage. Introducing See Me Boost. 6 highly concentrated serums with active ingredients that deliver skin-enhancing benefits for your entire body. Combine them with our new specially formulated massage lotions to offer skin-enhancing benefits to your massage experience. Discover your See Me Boost today, an innovative boost to your total body care routine, only at Massage Envy.
Welcome back to the Jacksonville Buzz. We're back with Mark Lowry from Vive de Lui Tequila. What's up, Mark?
Hey, ready to have some drinks?
I'm happy to be crashing the party. I'm telling you.
Welcome, Amy.
Thanks for volunteering.
So before we get started, the tequila was released when?
So we got our first shipment October 23rd. We had approximately 600 cases that we had to unstack. So
oh, that's so exciting.
Lots of, stacked up to the top. We had to take them off the truck and put them in our storage.
And October 23rd, that's right around Florida, Georgia weekend,
right before Florida, Georgia.
I love it.
So it was very timely. We had a nice little flag and a little tailgate where people sampled, and
I love it.
It worked out perfectly.
So tell me a little bit more about the actual tequila. We know how smooth it is. We know about the extra aeration process. That's why it's so smooth. But what type of tequila is it?
Well, so it's a Blanco tequila.
Blanco,
they make Reposado, which is aged from 2 months to a year, and then Añejo, which is a year or more.
Is that where the color comes from?
Yeah, it's from the barrel. So they age them in barrels, and that's kind of the caramelized color. Usually it's bourbon or whiskey barrels. And, it has a completely different flavor. It becomes a little more oaky, a little more... smoky, I should say. Okay. But this is really, this is smooth, kind of, you can taste a little bit of the citrus, it brings out the citrus flavor. And, if you're going to try it, typically you would take a glass like this so that you can let, it aerate a little bit and smell it and take a little sip. We'll take a full breath, sip it in your mouth, and then kind of breathe in while you have it in your mouth.
And where does tequila come from? This is from the agave plant?
Yeah, so the agave plant is really, you get the nice branches, but it's really called the piña, which is the center, kind of like a pineapple, but it's a center nut that they take and then they cook, and the sugars come out and then they ferment.
Oh, cool.
So it's
almost like the heart of the plant, almost.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. So the humidors are the guys that go out there and they chop off all the branches and then, bring you that piña. So it takes a while for the plants to grow, but our plants used at Casa Mastery, which is an award-winning distiller that we found down there. They are typically in the higher elevations. It's kind of a sweeter plant. Got it. So that all helps with the flavor that we have.
I love it. Wow. Well, let's get started. Let's make a cocktail.
All right. So
what do we make?
What do you think? Skinny Paloma?
I'm on board.
All the things.
Especially
yes.
in January for diet purposes, there have been a couple things that have come out that says tequila helps you lose weight. So
I'm on board with. I'll volunteer for that diet. Thank you.
So we're not going to take measurements. We're just going to go by flow. So
that's how they do it in the Caribbean.
Exactly. So put our tequila in there. Put a little fresh grapefruit juice.
That looks delicious.
And you can, of course, if you want to get a little more elaborate, you can squeeze the grapefruits.
Okay.
Yeah, you could just do it yourself.
Purpose.
Yeah.
So then we've got, Fresca little grapefruit flavored soda that's sugar-free, or you can use a grapefruit flavored water, or if you don't want to do the skinny style, Squirt has a lot of sugar in it. So
that's what they probably use in the Caribbean.
That's typically what they use.
Ting or Squirt.
Authentic island vibes.
And we're getting our bubbles here. We're getting our carbonation.
That's true. So the island version of the Paloma is with Ting. So I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. So we've got this see-through shaker so everyone can see what a great drink this is.
I love it.
And we're going to pour this.
It is a really pretty color, very festive for the new year.
Amy, I can tell he's done this a few times.
Just a few. Expert pour happening right now.
Get just the right amount.
The first time I had Ting was in Jamaica. And it will always be like solidified in my mind as like the island soda. So it's funny that you brought that up and how perfect for an island drink.
And this is a Skinny Paloma, right?
Skinny Paloma by using Fresca or sugar-free, just the grapefruit water. So
stick it in there or put it on top?
Yeah, you can just drop it in so it's nice and pretty.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Welcome to the Buzz.
Salud. So they say in Mexico.
Yeah. You got to tell us how it is.
Oh, it's so good.
Nice and fruity.
Yeah, a little citrus. It's sweet, but not like overly sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and the tequila doesn't overpower it.
I can picture myself on the beach right now. This is
Right.
legit. So, Mark, tell people at home how they can find you, where they can find your product.
So we're in several restaurants. Once again, we just started in October, but we're all over the First Coast in restaurants and several liquor stores, or you can look us up on vivedelui.com and find out where we've been added recently. We're adding stores and restaurants every
Does it
day.
help if people ask for you?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great question.
And what's great is I've been to several of the restaurants and asked for it, and they're all very aware. So it's,
Yeah.
but we'll keep a list on our website, and you can always check and see where you can find it.
I love
Making
it.
waves already.
Well, before you get out of here, I can't let you get out of here without doing some tequila shots. So let's get the guys in here. Martin, Adrienne, get in here.
all right, all
Tighten
right.
in.
yeah.
Everybody grab an
Everyone's
orange.
grabbing
Got it,
Twist
Twister.
my arm.
Orange.
Thanks, brother.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Here we go. Adrienne.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Once again, everyone.
This is the right way
Orange
to drink
after,
it
right?
here.
Absolutely.
All right.
All
Salute.
right,
Salute.
salute. Cheers.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, that's good.
Good stuff, right?
I love my job. I'm just saying.
This was a great segment. Thanks so much for coming on, Martin.
You're welcome.
Mark,
Thanks for having us.
we'll be right back on the
Let's do-
Jacksonville Buzz.
Let's do another one.
Well, it's a new year and a new you, and there's nothing I love more than turning a new page. We've covered a little bit about the New Year's, but our focus today is on wellness. One of the things I've done, guys, is try to have a dry-ish January. Obviously, that's going very well since we just had shots. So, cheers to that.
That was quality stuff, though.
It really,
yum.
and I really like the weight loss appeal. I mean, he said there are articles that have been written about the benefits of tequila and weight loss, and
So
I'm
is it
all
if you
about that
drink
diet.
it, you lose weight, or you don't increase your weight if you drink it?
I think if you switch out maybe what you were normally drinking, like a beer or something with more
You're on
calories,
it.
and switch it to just straight
Just tequila.
maybe on the rocks,
Yeah.
therein may lie your weight loss routine.
Oh, well, you could have something like a sparkling water with
yeah,
it.
there's
May
a
not,
lot of
Zero
good
calorie.
not want to throw in the ting, though, or the squirt.
No.
Yeah.
Sugar.
No.
Yeah, we'll go with the sparkling waters on that. But I mean, speaking of, like, food-wise, what would you say the wellness trends are, with food this year?
From my perspective, I'm all about diversity. So, meat, there's different types of proteins. You don't have to get it all through meat.
Yeah.
So with that said, I'm gonna kind of just diversify myself and I'm not gonna go vegan here on anybody. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm all
Maybe
about
some
it.
more plant-based proteins.
But
though.
yeah, just kind of mix it up a little bit more. And there's some really great things on the market right now, like the Beyond Meat product. They make a burger, they make some sausages.
That is
Native
so good.
Sun
meat.
has that. Yeah.
They do. Publix sells it now.
Oh, wow.
It comes frozen.
They do?
Yeah, it's easy to cook. It's legit. You can crumble it up, put it in your sauces. You can cook it as a patty. The sausage is the same way.
And kids like it?
Kids love it. Well, you
there
don't
you go.
tell them.
Right,
You don't
right,
tell
right.
them what
Is
it
anything
is.
You can never
different.
tell them what anything is.
So, what about you, Adrienne?
Well, I've gone blank as far as food's concerned because I
Just wellness in general.
Wellness in general. I think the one thing that I'm very focused on at the moment is the fact that from the fashion point of view, there's so much technology coming into fabrics and wearable technology
Yes.
and things like that, you just labels alone, when you're just getting your gym gear or anything like that, you're looking at moisture wicking this and moisture wicking that, and then the thermal. But there's also, they've brought out some smart clothing where as the muscles heat up, it contracts. so that it compresses your muscles so that it enhances the blood flow throughout the body. So there's so much good stuff happening in fashion with wellness as well.
Right, they're just they're enhancing your active lifestyle with what you're wearing.
Yes.
And the cleansability of things.
Yeah.
I've seen things on Instagram, on social media, where you spill ketchup on, and you just literally take a bottle of water, and the ketchup just comes off.
It just like slides off like a slip and slide.
It's crazy. You've seen the same thing, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love where technology is going as far as fashion. That whole lounge wear, active wear type of appeal, because you can use it for multiple different things. So you could take like a Moto active wear legging and turn it into like a layering piece with your wardrobe, which is so perfect for travel. And I'm seeing a lot of really cool trends when it comes to travel and wellness. I think you're going to see in 2019 a major emphasis on wellness and travel, as far as spas being destination and you traveling there. And I'm seeing some very fascinating integration where they're taking and creating a storyline for you during your travel, which that's what we all really want when we're traveling, is an experience to remember and a memory. So they're putting you at the center of a storyline that involves people being like the heroine and the hero of the experience. They're doing treks into the jungle, and then it ends at the spa, and you have a whole experience that's like tied into
taking it to another level.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I mean, there's a lot of meditation and yoga places that have started off abroad, that are attracting people because they get the holiday and they get to be healthy and meditate whilst they're in these beautiful environments. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do when I travel is to seek out the spa, because it's your time to kind of quiet yourself. You're away from all your normal distractions, maybe your kids or husband, if you're like on a spa day, check out.
Especially after travel.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, the float tanks.
Yes.
Be Still Float Studio. I mean,
I've
that's
done
ideal.
that before, and they really are pretty amazing, because you can tap into different parts of your brain because you're quiet and you're not on your phone and you're away from distractions. And a lot of CEOs and really creative types will do these float tanks because it helps them come up with really brilliant ideas.
There's no
And
disruption.
I think in this day and age, I think people almost have to be forced in a certain direction. They have to be forced to get off their phones because it's such a habit now.
Yeah, it is.
And back to the wellness thing, I think there's some branding going on too with some. I think people are slapping a lot of labels on things, and
not unlike organic.
Exactly,
and that type
it's
of
the
thing.
same gig.
Well, and
people are taking advantage of it.
I think it's really great that if wellness is where we're going as far as a marketing ploy, we could all use that.
No doubt.
Absolutely, and I think that's probably where we say we'll be right back after these messages. Oh, wow, that was fantastic. I'm so excited to go and be still.
Well, the tequila was amazing. How smooth was it? Amazing.
So good. I mean, I think maybe we should do shots and then go be still.
Vive de Lui, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.